Let's be honest, after 50, our bodies don't move the way they used to. You wake up feeling stiff. Bending down to tie your shoes feels like a workout. And if you sit too long, forget it. You creak like an old wooden chair when you stand back up. I was tired of feeling like my body was slowing me down before I was ready to slow down. So I decided to test something simple. What if I committed to just 10 easy mobility exercises every single day for 30 days? No gym, no fancy equipment, just me, a little bit of floor space and consistency. Now, these aren't hardcore workouts. We're talking gentle, low impact movements, things you can do right in your living room, no matter your fitness level. But here's the real question. Can something so simple actually make a difference? Well, after 30 days, I was honestly surprised at what changed. And it wasn't just physical. But before I reveal the results, let me take you back to the beginning. I made myself a list of 10 mobility moves, covering everything from loosening the neck and shoulders to opening up tight hips to keeping my ankles and spine flexible. My goal wasn't to look younger or drop weight. It was simple. I wanted to move better. To get out of bed without groaning, to walk upstairs without grabbing the railing, to feel steady on my feet, because balance after 50, that's everything. So here was the deal. 30 days straight, no excuses. I promised myself I'd spend at least 10 minutes a day running through these exercises. I wasn't chasing perfection, I was chasing consistency. Now here's where it gets interesting. By the end of the first week, I already noticed small things like turning my neck while driving without feeling that tight pull. By week 2, my mornings felt different. But I won't spoil the story yet. You'll see the ups, the downs, and the surprising results as we go. And listen, if you're watching this thinking, mobility, that's just stretching, let me tell you, it's more than stretching. It's about keeping your independence, your balance, your freedom. Because what good is feeling young in your heart if your body won't let you keep up? So that's the challenge. 10 simple daily mobility exercises, 30 days straight, and me documenting every step of the journey. Will it actually make a difference, or is it just another internet fad? Well, let's dive in and find out. Why does mobility matter so much after 50? It's simple. Mobility is freedom. The ability to move with ease keeps us balanced, reduces stiffness, and helps prevent falls, which are one of the biggest risks as we get older. Think about it. Every single day, mobility plays a role in the small things we often take for granted. Getting out of bed in the morning without groaning, reaching up into a cabinet without straining your shoulder, bending down to tie your shoes without feeling like you just ran a marathon, even walking confidently across the room without worrying about losing your balance. The truth is, mobility isn't just about exercise, it's about independence. When your joints are flexible and your muscles are strong enough to support everyday movement, you move through life with more confidence. You're less likely to stumble, less likely to feel stiff, and more likely to enjoy the simple moments that make up your day. That's why I wanted to focus on mobility in this challenge. It's not about looking younger or chasing some fitness trend. It's about protecting my future self, about making sure I can keep doing the things I love without being held back by my own body. So before we dive deeper into the exercises themselves, remember this: mobility is the foundation of healthy aging. Without it, everything else gets harder. But with it, life feels a whole lot easier. When I started this challenge, I knew I didn't want anything complicated. No weights, no gym memberships, no intimidating routines. Just simple, low impact movements I could do in my living room. So I built a list of 10 mobility exercises, each designed to loosen up different parts of the body. Together, they covered everything from neck to ankles, and all they required was about 10 minutes a day. Here's the lineup: neck rolls to release tension and improve flexibility in the neck, shoulder circles to keep the upper body loose and relaxed, chest opener stretches to counteract the stiffness from sitting, cat-cow stretches to keep the spine flexible and ease back tightness, seated spinal twists to gently work the core and mid-back, hip circles to unlock tight hips that come from too much sitting, ankle circles to keep balance sharp and step steady, hamstring stretches for smoother movement when walking or bending, side bends to keep the waist and torso flexible, and heel to toe walks, a simple but powerful move for balance and fall prevention. None of these moves are extreme. They're gentle, low impact, and safe for just about anyone to try. And that was the whole point. I wanted to prove that consistency, not intensity, is what makes the difference. These 10 became my daily ritual. 10 minutes, 10 moves, 30 days. And that's where the changes began. The first week was interesting. I'll be honest, I didn't glide into this challenge like some fitness commercial. On day 1, I forgot to do the routine until right before bed. So there I was, half asleep, rolling my neck and circling my ankles in my pajamas. Not exactly glamorous. By day 3, the stiffness hit. My hips ached, my shoulders felt sore, and I wondered if I had bitten off more than I could chew. But here's the thing, I kept going. And that's when the small wins started showing up. I noticed I could turn my head while driving without that annoying pull in my neck. I was getting out of bed in the morning with a little less groaning. Even tying my shoes didn't feel like such a chore. Were there struggles? Absolutely, but there were also surprises, little moments that reminded me why I started. And that first week gave me just enough progress to keep me motivated for week 2. By week 2, something started to shift. The exercises were no longer just a checklist. I was building a routine. At first, I had to remind myself constantly, don't forget your mobility moves today. But slowly, it became automatic, like brushing my teeth. 10 minutes, 10 moves done, no excuses. And the consistency started paying off. My posture felt straighter. I wasn't hunching over my phone as much. Bending down to pick something up didn't feel like a big production anymore. It just happened. Here's the surprising part. Once I saw the progress, I didn't want to break the streak. That sense of momentum is powerful. It's like having a buddy holding you accountable, except the buddy is you from yesterday. And every time I finished the session, I gave myself a little mental high five. Not because the exercises were hard, but because I showed up. And showing up day after day is what really makes the difference. Week 3 was the turning point. Up until then, the exercises felt like work. Good work, but still something I had to push myself to do. But somewhere in that 3rd week, I noticed something big. My balance was improving. Standing on one foot while doing ankle circles didn't feel wobbly anymore. Walking up the stairs, I didn't instinctively grab the railing. And the constant little aches in my joints, they were fading. That physical shift sparked something emotional too. I felt lighter, more confident, like my body wasn't holding me back anymore. Everyday movements felt smoother. Reaching for things, bending down, turning around, it all started to feel natural again instead of like a chore. It's hard to describe, but I started moving through my day with a kind of quiet ease. And with that ease came confidence, the kind you don't really notice until it's gone and then suddenly it's back. That was the week I stopped doubting the process. I knew I was on the right track. By week 4, the results were no longer just something I noticed during my exercises. They were showing up in real life. Walking around the neighborhood felt easier. My steps were smoother, my pace was quicker, and I didn't feel like I had to think about every movement. Climbing the stairs? No problem. I could go up and down without pulling myself along by the railing. Even the simple things felt different. Sitting down and standing back up didn't come with that old stiffness. Getting out of a chair was smooth, not a slow shuffle. And here's the part that really hit home. I was playing with my grandkids, and instead of sitting on the sidelines, I actually got down on the floor with them. And more importantly, I was able to get back up without feeling stuck. That moment made me realize this wasn't just about exercise. It was about living better. By the end of week 4, the difference wasn't just in my body, it was in my daily life. And that's when I knew these 10 minutes a day had truly been worth it. So after 30 days, here's what changed. I had more flexibility, my balance improved, the stiffness that used to slow me down was way less. And honestly, I felt more energetic throughout the day. Will I keep doing these exercises? Absolutely. They're too simple, too effective not to. 10 minutes a day is a small price to pay for moving with ease. And my favorite exercise, the cat-cow stretch. It loosened my back more than anything else, and every time I finished, I felt lighter. So yes, 30 days made a difference, but the real win is knowing I can keep this up for the long run. So what's my honest verdict? The Daily Mobility Challenge worked. I moved easier, felt stronger, and even carried myself with more confidence. What didn't work? Expecting instant results. The first week was tough, stiffness, soreness, and forgetting a few days. But once I stuck with it, things started to shift. If you're new to this, here's my advice. Start small, stay consistent, and always listen to your body. You don't need fancy equipment, and you don't need to be fit to begin. Mobility is for everyone, especially after 50. If I can do it, so can you. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button right now because my next video is a game changer. I'll be sharing the truth about fenugreek seeds, also called methi, and how they're linked to reducing belly fat, boosting metabolism, and controlling cravings. Trust me, you don't want to miss the premiere. And let me ask you this. Do you know a country that uses these powerful herbs where people well into old age can still do tasks that most young adults today can't even compete with? Drop your guesses in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And before you go, hit the links in the description or bio to grab a copy of my ebooks to start your own transformation. And if this information brought you value, send me a small gift, maybe just a cup of coffee. It keeps this channel alive and I'll be forever grateful. Subscribe now. We've got so much more to explore together.